What's going on, guys? It's Adamo here, and basically today I'm going to be bringing you a tips and tricks video on basically how to be better overall at Rainbow Six Siege. And the first thing we're going to be talking about today is attackers that are easy to use and defenders that are easy to use. Because some people try to do attacking and defending with like these crazy operators that take tremendous skill, and that's not how to do it. So the first one we're going to go with is Thatcher. Thatcher helps the team tremendously and is very easy to use. He basically throws little grenades that destroy mutes, bandits, anything electronic that'll help your team get into the objective, secure it easily, and also lets them use their drones. Very easy operator and very good one too. Next person we're going to go to is Fuse. Fuse is a very good operator because he just can take out a shit ton of people very easily, and he's not that hard to use. Plus, he has a good gun, and honestly, he's just a good overall operator. Doesn't take a lot of skill. Next person we're going to talk about is IQ. IQ has great guns and also helps the team a lot. Kind of like a Thatcher in a way, but you can't take things out through walls unless they're like wood, but if they're reinforced, you can't take them out. But it's easy to take out cams so your team doesn't get spotted, and also just helps you take out mutes, bandits, stuff like that. Kind of just another version of Thatcher, just with different weapons. Another person we're going to talk about is Capitao. Capitao is more of a self-operator, doesn't help the team a lot, but he's more of a veteran. He's pretty easy to use. He has bows that shoot smoke and flame, and you can get pretty good kills in clutch moments with the smokes and the flames, and overall it's pretty... He's a selfish operator, but he's easy to use and he'll help your team in clutch situations. And the last person we're going to talk about for the attacking is Jackal. Jackal basically tracks footsteps, lets your team know where people are, so it's kind of like in clutch scenarios where it's maybe like a 2v2 or a 3v2. Your team knows where that one guy is and you can get the clutch round. Very easy to use and has great weapons. Now we're going to switch over to the defenders. First defender we're going to be talking about is Mute. Mute is probably one of the best operators you can have and one of the easiest operators you can have. Basically jams out anything, drones, Habanas. You just place it down. One Mute can take up 2 walls, and he's just very easy to use. Next person we're talking about is Castle. Castle just protects the objective. Basically makes the room harder to get into, and as a job for Castle, you just sit in the objective and you protect it. Castle all the doors. If you're playing ranked, your teammates might not want you to castle all the doors if they're roaming, but overall, great operator. Next person we're talking about is Doc. Doc heals the team, not hard to use at all. Sit in the objective, protect it, shoot stims at teammates that are very low. His weapon's probably one of the best weapons in the game with ACOG, and overall, he's heavy, takes more armor, and he's a great operator. Next person we're talking about is basically Doc's brother, Rook. Rook supplies the team with armor, automatically gives your team the advantage over the other team, and he has the same MP5 with ACOG, one of the best weapons in the game. He's very hard to kill, and just a great operator overall. The next person we're talking about is Kapkan. Kapkan is one of the most clutch operators in Rainbow Six Siege. If you have good Kapkan placements, you're easily going to get maybe 1, 2, or 3 clutch kills. If it's like a 2v4 and you get 3 Kapkan kills, you're down to a 2v1. It's insane clutch, good weapons, great operator. Next operator we're going to be talking about is Frost. Frost is basically another version of Kapkan. Just different weapons, looks different, but the bad thing about Frost is that unlike Kapkan, the teammates actually have a chance to revive the people that are in the Frost trap. Overall, good easy operator to use if you're starting off the game. Next operator we're going to start talking about here is Echo. Echo is the last defending operator. He just sits in the objective, kind of makes the other team at a disadvantage by, disorienting them and making them not be able to see as well, and they kind of feel like they're drunk, and it makes your teammates have a higher chance at winning the gunfights. So if you have an Echo, sit in the objective, hit the people with the yokai, and your team will win more gunfights. That's basically it with the attackers and defenders for easy ones. The ones that I didn't list are a little bit harder to play as, but now we're going to get into camos. Now, this might be a funny thing, but in clutch situations where you can see someone's like the end of their gun sticking out of a door, you're going to want to use camos that are dark. Like, see this camo? The end of it is white. If the back of your gun is dark or whatever color, it's fine. See, this camo is a nice camo, but the end of it is black. So people aren't going to see, like, if you're in a dark area, people aren't really going to spot that out. Black camo's okay, but all the other camos that are bright camos, if you're trying to actually get better at the game, these tips will help you. And gold camo is definitely, that's not what you're going to want to use. You could spot that out a mile away. Red camo, also not good to use. Purple camo, not good to use. I mean, obviously I bought them because they're nice camos, but if you're trying to play ranked and you're in a clutch situation and you're walking by and you see the end of a gun sticking out of a door, you can, if it was like a dark area and it was black, you might be able not to spot it. But if it's like bright gold camo, you'll be able to spot it, turn on and get the gunfight, fucking win the gunfight, and win your team the round. Now, I'm showing you all the camos here. If it's a bright camo, you're not going to want to use it. I know diamond's a nice camo, but honestly, you're just not going to want to go with it if you're playing ranked. That's just my opinion. Some people are going to tell you differently, but in my opinion, anything that helps you over the other team is an advantage. And yeah, that's all the camos for Thatcher's gun at least, and those will help you if you run darker camos in darker scenarios or lighter camos in light areas, not dark. Now that's basically it for camos, and yeah. Now we're going to get into attachments. Attachments is a very, very important in Rainbow Six Siege. It is probably one of the most important things you can have to win gunfights, and the two things that you're going to want in a gunfight is not a lot of recoil and very good accuracy. Things that'll help you with that is ACOG. Any gun that has ACOG, that's what you're going to want to run. Some people might have a different opinion, but holographic, red dot, and reflex, they're not going to help you in long range distances, and ACOG just overall gives you a higher chance at a headshot rating if your accuracy isn't the best. Now, we're going to move over to things that help you not have a lot of recoil. Compensator. If you have compensator on the weapon that you are running, you are going to want to run it. If it doesn't have a compensator, then don't run it. But if it has compensator, that's what you're going to want to run. Because most people, except for the highly skilled people, are going to be doing full auto, not bursting, and that's going to give you the least amount of recoil. Now moving on to the grips. Angled grip, once you get better at the game, you're going to want your gun to come up to your face faster so you can win gunfights, drop shot, etc. Foregrip, you're going to want to start off with because that's going to give you the least amount of recoil, the higher chance of winning the gunfights. Your teammates are going to be more happy with you because you'll be able to get kills at a low rank and show them that you are pretty decent at the game. Now, laser sight. Do not run laser sight on any gun when you are starting off. You can use it when you get a little bit more skilled, you know where you're going, you can hear people, you know if they're seeing you or not, and you can turn on them. But if you were starting off the game, do not use laser sight. People will be able to spot it out, and you will get killed if you are not smart at the game. I advise you to not use laser sight. Now we're going to move on to a different gun. We'll say we're going to choose Mute. We'll choose Mute. Alright, so basically, for Mute, he doesn't have an ACOG. So in my personal opinion, if you do not have an ACOG, their best option is holographic. Okay? Because if you run holographic, me personally, I don't like red dot or reflex. I feel like it's too small. Holographic, to me, will give you the advantage. You can try whatever you want, but if you listen to me, I think you're going to be going down the right path. Holographic is great, other than ACOG, and it's probably going to give you the best results. Now, moving on to the compensator. This weapon does have the compensator. You're going to want to run compensator on every single weapon. Now, as I said before, if you're not very skilled at the game, you're not going to want to use laser sight. I have it on here because I was just trying it out a little bit, but obviously I'm probably going to take it off. I don't like it that much. And as I was saying, just don't use laser sight. Now, we'll go to one last gun. We'll go to Valkyrie's. Alright. Valkyrie's gun does not have an ACOG, but it does have a holographic. So I told you again, I advise you to use holographic. Compensator, she has a compensator. Vertical grip, I don't really like angled grip on her gun. I feel like it has too much recoil, so I use foregrip. But anyway, you can choose any path that you want to go. Now, here we're going to be talking about controlling the recoil on guns and just basically getting your accuracy overall better like we were talking before. So most people don't really care about their accuracy, and they're just going to spray their gun up and down, and you're not going to get a kill that way. Alright, once you get better at the game, you're going to want to control your accuracy. Like, if you're bursting, get like that straight burst. You're not going to want to spray all over the place like beginner people do, and they don't understand why they don't get kills. Fully auto, try to keep it in a more like controlled area than just spraying it all around, because it's just overall people just shoot like this, and you're not going to get a kill that way. Trust me, you're just really not going to get a kill. You're going to want to learn the recoil pattern on your gun, and obviously just try to control it the best you possibly can, and that's what's going to get you the most gunfights. Another thing we're going to be talking about is leaning. Leaning's going to be hard for most beginners while shooting. It's something that you have to get used to, but if you lean while you're shooting, it's going to manipulate your hitbox, and it's going to make you harder to kill overall. If you lean left and then you lean right while shooting, enemy is not going to be able to get a headshot off on you. It's going to be very, very hard. Now, once you get more skilled, you can go right and then automatically go left to kind of do like a little juke, and that's probably going to win you the most gunfights. But I wouldn't say start off like that. I would say just go in a private match, try to just get decent at leaning while shooting, and then go into multiplayer and then try it. But it's definitely not something for beginners, but you will eventually get better at it. Now we're going to be talking about not going prone when you're last alive. It is one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and it really just puts you at a disadvantage. If it was a 2v1 right now, and the person in front of you knew you were there, they were probably going to have their other teammates sandwich you. Now when you're prone and you get up, you're at a disadvantage because your head comes up, and see right there, easy headshot. You can't look all over the place. You're just at a disadvantage. But if you stay crouched, you could easily have more room to just walk around. You'll know your environment a little bit more. You'll be able to turn on people, and it's just way better. Like, you can just walk around, see where people are. You're not going to go prone. You have most of the area of space than when you're prone. When you're prone, you put yourself in a kind of small environment, and you can't use the advantage of the space around you. When you're crouched, you can basically go anywhere. If you're standing up, you can go anywhere. Control the rooms around you, drop shot, do whatever you need to do to win the gunfight. But I advise when you were last alive, do not go prone, because once skilled players know that you're going prone, they're going to be peeking stuff, and they're going to be automatically aiming for your head, and it's not a good idea. Now we're going to be talking about when you get a flashbang thrown at you, because most people just sit in a corner and wonder, oh man, these flashbangs are so overpowered. They're really not. If you let a flashbang get thrown at you, you're just going to go blind like this, and you're not going to be able to win a gunfight, and it's going to suck. And you're going to wonder, oh man, how can I counter this? Well, for beginners, what you're going to want to do is when a flashbang is thrown at you, you're going to want to turn around and kind of move forward a little bit, because you're not going to get flashed. And some people might say, oh, that's so obvious, but it's really not. For beginner players, if it's thrown at you, just turn around. You don't even have to move a lot. Just turn around, face away from the flashbang, and you'll be good. Because the second you do that, the other team will think that you're flashed, but you're really not, and then you will turn around and kill them. It happens to me a bunch of times, and it's one of the greatest strategies you can use. Now we're going to be talking about camera spots. If you can play maps and know where the camera spots are, you automatically put yourself in advantage over the other team. The other team is relying on their cameras to spot you out. But if you're a veteran and you can learn, if you play the game over time and you learn the maps, you will know where the camera spots are, because it just makes you better. It helps your team. It doesn't get them spotted, and honestly, it makes the other team not know where you are, and you can get a flank and they won't even know. But the thing about that is, even if you destroy the cameras and you go for a flank, make sure you do it crouched, because if you stand up and run for the flank, they're going to hear you, and it's not going to work. But as long as you can remember where the camera spots are on every single map, you will automatically put yourself at an advantage, and it's just a little tip to overall make you better at the game, and it's in a benefit not just you, but it's in a benefit your team. That's basically it for today's video on tips and tricks on basically how to be better overall. I'll be getting in more depth with all the operators after this video. I'll be uploading daily on this channel. It's been Adamo, guys. Peace.